Hello, hello, hello. We are back again. My name is Marcus Wright, and this is Spill It. Welcome to my little show called Spill It. This is a show where I get to speak to inspirational people and share inspirational stories to connect people together, inspire others, and hopefully everybody will learn something new. And this episode is no different. This episode is 47 Stronger, featuring Laura Sylvester, and Laura Sylvester will be joining us at 7:10 p.m. Until then, you get the lovely pleasure of having me. But Laura Sylvester will be in the house and she'll be talking about her story and the incredible journey that she has been on. So make sure that you are staying tuned for that. And don't forget to like, share, and comment. Drop me a like if you're watching this. Drop me a share as well. Get it out far and wide. Get it to people who may not necessarily know what Spill It's all about. Get people into the Spill It fold. And also, don't forget to comment as well. Drop a comment and just say hi. Let me know who's watching, where you're watching from, what the weather's like where you're watching from. You know, let me know. Just drop a comment and let me know. If you haven't checked out the other episodes yet, make sure you do. Head over to the Spill It website at www.spillit.uk and you'll be able to catch up with all of the episodes that we've got, including all of the episodes over in season 1. Keep those comments and questions rolling in because it means we get to interact with those comments as well. Drop a comment, let me know. And then also, if you've got any questions for Laura, drop a comment and let her know what you think of her journey or ask her any questions and we'll answer them live on air. And above all, make sure you've hit that share button. Go on, do it for me. Do it for me. Hit the share button. Let's get it far and wide. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about some amazing announcements. So here you go. Here is my amazing announcement, amazing news. Just had a comment from Who's Mike watching from Twitch. Hey, Marcus, hope you're having a great day. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for tuning in. Thank you for your comment as well. I'm having a brilliant day, especially because of this news that I'm about to share with you all right now. So I've had confirmation. I've had confirmation today that I am going to be given a slot on Beat 103 Radio, which is in Preston. So I will actually be a radio presenter, presenting my own show, playing my own music. Not my own music, obviously, music from artists, but playing the music of my choice and yours if you tune in. But I'll be playing my own playlist. I'll be playing all of that live on air weekly, which is absolutely incredible news. I cannot wait for it. Oh my life! I genuinely couldn't believe it when I was told about it. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I will be Mr. Marcus on the radio. Yvonne's joined. How do? And then she's giving me a yay woo with the radio news. Thank you so much, Yvonne, for joining. Who's Mike again? Wonderful news. It's getting very difficult to avoid. Yeah. I am taking over. I am trying my best to conquer the world. That's what it is. I love it. Linda, morning, Mr. Magoo and Teacups. Morning to you, Linda, my fabulous teacup over there. Thank you so much for joining. And I wanted to talk about my last bit of news because this is very, very, very important. Okay, you ready? This is the last week to vote. So you've heard me talk about this every single week on this show. You've seen it on Facebook. You've seen it on my personals. I am up for a national award. I can't even speak. Let's try that again. I am up for a national award for the positive role model of 2021 of the National Diversity Awards, which is supported by ITV News. Some amazing teacup out there nominated me for the work that I've done for the LGBTQ plus community and more, obviously with mental health. And I have received so many votes, so many nominations, and I was put forward for this award. Voting closes next Friday. So that's Friday, the 4th of June. Okay. That's when voting finishes. It means that nobody will be able to vote for me. It means that you can stop listening to me going on about these votes all the time. But next Friday is the final chance to vote for me. Now, I've submitted all of my things. So the National Diversity Awards got in touch and they wanted me to send them over loads of evidence of the work that I've done, any newspaper clippings, and there's been a lot. There's been a lot of news clippings. We've had Blog Preston, we've had LEP, and then obviously there was the Christmas lights and all that lot as well. So yeah, I've sent off all of that information, all of that evidence as well. I've written all of my scenarios. So they ask you like loads of different questions. So I've done all of that. And now it is down to you guys. If you have not voted yet, please can you do so? All you have to do is head over to the Spill It website, okay? Head over to the Spill It website, www.spillit.uk. It is rolling across the bottom of the screen right now. On the main page, you will see a lovely picture of me saying, let's spill it, okay? On that, all you would have to do is click the link. It will take you directly to the National Diversity Awards website where you can vote for me. It actually pulls up my profile as well. So you literally don't have to do anything. You don't have to search for anything. You just click that link and then up my profile comes. You type in the box why you think I am a positive role model specifically for the LGBTQ plus community. Once you have done that, once you have casted your vote, you then check your email inbox, okay? So once you check your email inbox, you'll have a notification from the National Diversity Awards that will just ask you to submit your vote. That is it. So it's just to confirm that the vote is genuine. That is all. And once you have done that, it means that you have voted for me. Now, if you have voted for me, thank you so, so much. There has been so many people that have voted for me. And I know that I keep asking for people to keep voting, but, you know, it's very, very important for me. If you have voted for me, please make sure that you have asked friends and asked family to do so as well. You know my story. You know what I've done and what I've been through, etc. The more that you guys can get those votes in for me, the more chance I have at winning this award. Or not even just winning the award. I would absolutely love to be shortlisted for it. So what happens is that on the 4th of June, the votes will get closed. So which means that nobody else can vote. Then 2 weeks after that, I will be told if I have been shortlisted for the awards, which means that if I've been shortlisted, it means that I get to travel to Liverpool on the 4th of February 2022, and I'll sit at the table, and obviously the nominations will come up, and it'll have like a bit of a story about me, you know, like the TV stuff, like TV awards, and then it'll come up with like the work that I've done, and then it'll be and the winner is, and then whoever. And obviously I've got two faces to practice. The first one is, oh my god, I won, which I'm going to be wearing my crown for. And then the second face I have to prepare for is the, oh yeah, they're a deserving winner. Yes, well done. And try and hide the fact that I'm crying on the inside. So yes, final thing, please. Let's get me there. Let's get me to that point, okay? So drop a vote if you can. Head over to the Spill It website, drop a vote. Please, if you haven't done so already. If you have done already, get in touch with family members, friends, whoever, and get them to also vote as well, because it would mean the world to me. You're our hero. Thank you, Linda. And Jenna Hollinghurst, Death will be the first face you'll be using. Let's hope so. I mean, to be fair, I'm really going to practice my, yes, well done, yes. Because guaranteed, I'm going to have a Joey Tribbiani moment where he's like, no! Right, anyway, I have rambled enough. It is time to bring out my special guest of the evening. I hope you're all excited. I'm excited. I know that Laura is feeling a little bit nervous about coming out, so you got to make her feel a little bit welcome. Please, can we have plenty of emojis. I want you to flood the comments with emojis, please. Okay. Drop me your favorite emoji. Drop me some clapping hands as well. Welcome to my fantabulous guest for this evening. It is Laura Sylvester. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I am very, very well. Thank you so much for joining me on my little Spillage show here. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me and asking me to come on.
More than welcome. To be fair, I saw your story last year and I was like, 100%, I need Laura on my show. It was just a story that just needs to be told. And so I reached out to you late last year and was like, let's get you on. I would absolutely love to talk to you in more detail. But I was fully booked and I was like, oh. But luckily, here we are. You've got your chance now. We're on the show. We're live. And we are going to talk about your story, aren't we?
We are.
Cool. Before we do that, though, I've got a little game to play. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 5-second rule. That's right, it's the 5-second rule, which is a game that I play with all of my guests. It's just a bit of an icebreaker game, just a little bit of fun. All we do is I ask you to name 3 somethings, and you've got 5 seconds to name those 3 somethings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, just say the things that come to the top of your head. If, for example, it's not true, then that's fine. If, for example, it's something that you think, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that, that's even better. We want to know the ins and outs and everything. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Right. Here we go. Question number 1. Name 3 smells that make you gag.
Tuna, cow manure, and egg.
Yeah, there you go. There's 3. Egg. Does egg make you gag?
I don't know why. Like, because I'm vegan now, but I used to like it. But
wow, okay.
All of it is weird. Do you not think? Like,
to be fair, yes, actually, like when you think about it, the smell is pretty.
Maybe not actually egg, but like, sulfur, like when you were at school in science.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The sulfur smell. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Name your 3 go-to singing in the shower songs.
Oh my God. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't have any.
No worries. Have you got one? Have you got a song that you just think, you know what, I'm going to have to sing that?
I don't know what it's called, but it's on Sabrina. Do you remember Sabrina? The Teenage Witch.
As in the Teenage Witch? Yeah. As in like the old one?
Like the original, yeah. Like
yeah.
On Nickelodeon. I don't know what it was called. It was like Shake You When Me Funky Song, something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't. But I'm going to Google it. We're going to find it.
You want to watch the actual episode of it?
Okay, cool. We'll find it and we'll post it out later.
Yeah. I'm just going to sound like a weirdo for now, though.
Oh, Jenna Hollinghurst has commented saying she loves that song.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Jenna, link me the song and then we can share it afterwards. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Linda Proctor has said, sing it.
No.
I love that. No. Okay, here we go. Name 3 things you do when no one is looking.
Oh my God, I'm rubbish at this. I don't know. I actually don't.
Okay, so time is finished. But give us one. Give us one thing you do when no one's looking.
Maybe pull a funny face at someone if they made a comment that I don't like, or I don't know.
Giving him side eye. Like,
Maybe.
cool. Well, that is the 5 second rule. Have you had fun with that?
I sucked.
You got three. You got 3 out of 9. So, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You've done all right. There's other people that only get 3. So, I think there's only been 2 people that have completed the whole thing. And that's like since season 1. So
It takes me like 5 seconds to think of something.
that's what people have said as well. They say that when they're playing this, it's really hard to think of 5 on the spot, and you've only got 5 seconds to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's just a little bit of fun and a little bit of an icebreaker. Okay, let's move on. Who is Laura Sylvester?
I am she. So do you want me to talk about like what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, so who is Laura right now? And then we'll go through everything else.
So yeah, I mean, right now, I've just turned 30, which feels like a big milestone for me. And I'm kind of currently setting up my own business in coaching. So I would class myself as a holistic self-love and empowerment coach for women.
Nice.
Who have kind of been on a bit of a traumatic life themselves, that are kind of wanting to build a better connection with themselves and kind of heal that, accept themselves and that kind of thing. And just live life according to their values, who they want to be, without fear of judgment from other people or anything external. And that's kind of like what I'm about now and what I'm doing. And other than that, I'm just kind of like, obviously we've just been in lockdown, where we still are to an extent. So yeah, things have obviously been a little bit quiet, but it's been great for kind of like self-reflection and delving deeper into more of what I want to do and where I want to go with the future. So I've done a lot of like courses and things like that. I've done like some diplomas and certifications. So yeah, just really like feeling empowered to kind of move forward and help other people on their journey.
That's brilliant. For one, I was on the life coaching journey myself as well during 2020. It was something that I was pursuing, and I looked at the certifications and things like that. One of the things that I wanted to kind of get you to expand on as well, you mentioned that you are practicing in holistic life coaching. And I'm just wondering if you'd be able to expand on what the holistic means.
Yeah, so like holistic basically means like mind, body, soul. So it's like all of the 3 components connected like together, bringing them together, because I don't feel like you can work on one thing without addressing the other. So like you might be able to tackle like head stuff, but then what about what is going on internally in the body, and how you're feeling physically and that kind of thing, and how you're doing like at a soulful level, which might sound a little bit woo-woo to some people, but I think if you're interested in that kind of thing, like doing some really deep healing work is so profound and powerful. It just helps you become more of who you are. And I've done it myself, and doing that work is just amazing. And yeah, you just feel so empowered within yourself without having to worry about comparisons around you. And you can kind of, when you kind of facing adversity, you can kind of keep that calm spirit about yourself. Whatever's going on around, it's kind of like we get the choice to react. And it's kind of mind, body, it's kind of spirit, all of that connected.
Love it. Your story is a very strong story that, as I say, I was very, very keen to get on the show from last year, obviously, from when I saw articles in the newspaper. And it is something, Linda mentioned it before on one of her comments, that it's definitely something that needs to be covered. So most definitely this area needs covering. And I'm just wondering if you would be okay in sharing your story with us today, and lead us to what the decisions were, what happened in your life to get you to the person that you are today. Now, before we start this story, I've just got to make sure that everybody is aware that this story may be triggering to certain people. So please watch with guidance if you need it, and always seek support from parents or friends, etc., if you are feeling some type of way because of this video. So yeah, I'm just wondering if you'd be able to share this, share your story with us.
Yeah, so obviously, I know, you know, but people that are watching, so I was diagnosed with anorexia in 2009, and it has been quite the battle since then. Yeah, it's not been easy to say the least. I think when it first started out, I was kind of not really aware of what anorexia was. I didn't really know what was happening to me, or what, I don't know, I just didn't really understand it, and I think as well back then it was still not very much talked about. So I kind of felt like it was something that I had to hide, but at the same time I kind of didn't know that that is what was wrong with me, or
Yeah.
yeah, but I remember there was kind of like, you know, when people say that, you know, if they've gone through like kind of almost like a death experience where they see the white light. Well, I actually had that myself, and that was kind of my, this is where I need to do something about it, because I remember I got back from Leeds first. I was obviously very unwell at the time, and I was absolutely freezing cold. I don't remember how I even got back. Because I was so cold, I ran a really hot bath, and I just plunged into that. But because of such temperature difference, um, I just like started blacking out, and I immediately got out of the bath, and then I just sort of like went to lie in my bed straight away, and that's when everything just went black. And that's when I kind of did see the white light, and it sounds crazy to some people that obviously have never experienced it, but that was kind of like, as soon as I'd experienced that and I managed to come back round, it was kind of like, right, this is where I need to do something now. Like, I can't, you know, it's either carry on as I am and actually die, or do something about it. And that's when I kind of like looked for help for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Jenna has dropped a comment saying, "You'll help so many people by being brave enough to do this today. You're an inspiration." And Linda Proctor has also commented saying, "I can relate to this very dearly. One of my close friends suffered with anorexia."
Yeah.
You mentioned before that you didn't even know that that's what you were going through, and I suppose that is the same type of thing with any mental health disorder. And let's be honest, you know, it's a mental health disorder, and I suppose it is the same with absolutely every single one of them. I was myself. I suffered massively in deep depression for many years of my younger life. At the time, I had no idea. I had no idea that that's what I was going through. It's only when I got older that things started making sense. And then once I was fully comfortable with knowing the fact that actually, yes, I'm suffering with depression, I could then look back and go, that was the point. That was the point that, and I'm just wondering if that is the same for you, that obviously you can now look at the past and think that was my point where I knew that something was wrong, if you will.
I think for me, I knew that there was something wrong right from the beginning, but I wasn't really sure what, and I wasn't really sure how to get help, because I think as well, like a lot of people seem to think, or there's that stigma around eating disorders where, or especially anorexia, that it's all about how you look, and that you want to be really thin or slim. But the thing with me, which is what was confusing, was that I've always been really slim, if not slightly underweight anyway. So for me, it was kind of like, well, maybe that isn't the thing that's wrong with me, because that's not what the desire is. And obviously, since then, you kind of go on a learning journey. It's more to do with like control and that kind of thing. And, you know, it's not about appearance or weight necessarily, or food even. They're just the things kind of that surround it. And it's other stuff that's going on. But they can become the things that take over or become like the full focus.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I noticed that you said, obviously, when you got back from Leeds and you saw this light, obviously with the scenario with the bath. I noticed that there was a key word that you said, which was the first time. And I'm just wondering if so. Does this mean that the story continued after that?
Yeah. So from that, I actually had my first inpatient stay in hospital, um, which I wasn't expecting at all. I went and I remember going to see the consultant, and I was petrified. And I kind of thought I'd just be staying like overnight, you know, like at just a general hospital. I wasn't really entirely sure where I was. And then they was kind of like, no, you'll be staying. And I just thought, oh, it must be like a week or something. And then it was kind of like 4 months later. But yeah,
Wow.
so when I found out that I was kind of in there for the long haul, there was a lot of tears. I just didn't know what to do, what to think. It was very, very, very scary, very new. And back then, all of the rules were kind of very different to how it is now. So they're kind of unimaginable now. You know, I don't even know. Like, I was unable to get up and walk anywhere. Had to be in a wheelchair. I was watched 24/7, so, like, when you're in the bath, on the toilet, and that kind of thing, and it was just
Wow.
so invasive, and really, really hard. So, yeah, that was, like yeah, something I kind of was like, "Oh, I never want to experience this again." So and when I got out, I kind of thought, um, you know, that I'm never gonna get to this point again, but that's not really how mental illness works, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I have had 5 hospital admissions in total, and
Wow.
all have been very, very different.
So five five hospital and you said every single one of them has been different. In what way? What ways were they different?
I think the rules and things
Right.
change, each hospital's different. So I've been in one in London, which was, very different to one that I've been up here. It was also hard in terms of, being so far away from family, that kind of thing. The one in London was NHS based, whereas the others have been Priories, which is private but still kind of funded by NHS, which I'm massively grateful for. And I think, you know, like without that, I probably wouldn't still be here now.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, and they've all been kind of like around 5 months or so in total. So it's if you can, you know, if you put all of those 5 together, that's quite a massive chunk out of my life that I've had, you know, that I've spent in hospital. So, you know, to this day, it's like, you know, when some people have said, you know, "Oh, what are you doing with yourself?" And I know that I've been out of hospital like a month, and I know I'm not doing anything with myself other than trying to get by each day. I often feel a lot of shame around that because I feel like I should be at work or I should be doing something. And that can be really difficult. You know, I've gone for a blood test or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, so what do you do for work?" And I'm kind of like, "I don't do anything at the minute."
Mm.
I always felt like I had to make something up. So yeah.
With regards to you, so you said you were admitted into London.
Mhm.
You're from Preston, though, right?
Yeah.
So how did you find yourself in London?
So I did fashion design at uni.
Okay.
Um, yeah. I sort of did art and design before that, then went into fashion design. So I've always been really creative. And basically I had to do like an internship as part of my uni course. So I did one down in London, which was for a year, But while I were down there, you can imagine like the long days, the commute. I was on my feet in a fashion house 24/7. So it was very tiring and it was a lot of hard work. As people know, the fashion industry is like that anyway. But it just became too much, and gradually over the space of that year, things started to deteriorate. And then I kind of ended up in hospital down there. Even though the plan was to come home, I was kind of almost tricked into hospital down there, which was a
Right.
really frightening experience.
Wow. With regards to um, where you were at that point, now I believe it grabbed a bit of media attention as well. Is that right?
What, down in when I was in London?
With one of your whilst you were going through this, it was in a local paper, wasn't it?
Um, like just about the illness in general, about me
Yeah.
specific. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been in, like the news all the time, but I still feel like there's not enough done. There's a lot of talk, but there's not enough action when it comes to it. People are very quick to post about Mental Health Awareness Week, but there's no actual action being taken. But yeah, in regards to like it in the media and stuff, obviously we've just had really awful news about Nikki from Big Brother
Hmm.
uh, passing away, which was really awful, and that was because she wasn't able to get funding, even though she was visibly dying in front of medical professionals. And it's like how can that happen?
Yeah. You mentioned about Mental Health Awareness Week, and one of the things that I talked about last week was the fact that during Mental Health Awareness Week, we are very, very quick to point out like people who are suffering with depression and people who are suffering with other mental health issues, or feeling like with anxiety, depression, etc. But we don't look at the more broader spectrum, in where obviously anorexia falls into, and other mental health illnesses. And I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if you'd be able to comment on what type of support or education needs to happen.
I think more in schools. I think the really disturbing thing is that people are getting younger. There are more and more children developing eating disorders. And there's all of these things kind of, on social media, like filters and things like that, people thinking that they need to change what they look like. And the whole thing at the minute where I think the government want to put calories on menus in restaurants,
Mm,
which for someone like me would be really unhelpful. And the thing is, I believe that people that don't necessarily have an eating disorder or anything like that, they aren't going to kind of know ab- about calories. Like somebody might see something that is high calorie and think that's bad, but that's not necessarily true. So what needs to happen is education when it comes to food and diet and all the, like lifestyle choices and things like that. That needs to happen, I think, from being at school, but not to become too obsessive, or have some people like me or someone else like speaking about certain things. But yeah, I think the thing that people are lacking is the education from being young, but also just I guess support in general. There's not enough funding, I don't think, for mental health overall. It kind of goes elsewhere. Um,
hmm.
and I still, yeah, it's still not taken seriously enough, even though anorexia has the highest mortality rate of any mental health illness, which is frightening. But there are still some people that would class it as being a phase or something that you grow out of, when that's simply not true. I mean, I'm 30 now, and I've been going through it for the past 12 years. It's definitely not something I wake up and choose to be every day. It's really not easy. So yeah, I think as well, a lot of people are unable to get support or help because the weight isn't low enough, which then makes them kind of want to get a lower weight so that they can get the help. But oftentimes it doesn't always work, and then it can end up being fatal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It definitely needs more visibility and more support, and quite rightly, more education. As you said, starting it from schools, but it's not just, as you say, throwing calories on a menu and just going, oh well, let's hope for the best. Let's, we've done
Yeah,
our bit. It's not about that. It's about building that education and building that support around the relationships you can have with food and exercise and
absolutely.
diet. You
Yeah,
need to build that. You can't just go slap bang, there you
yeah,
go, there's your calories. Like, to, as you say, any young person, they don't care about any of that. Like, that doesn't
exactly.
make any sense to them.
Or they're not able
What?
to read
Yeah,
because
or they're not. Yeah.
like the meaning behind what it is, because essentially all calorie is energy, which isn't
Mm-hmm.
bad. It just depends kind of, what it is that you put in your body throughout the entire day or whatever. But that one, and especially like you go out to eat as kind of a special occasion or a treat, people kind of don't want to see that, it would put them off. And I'm pretty sure that actual restaurants and establishments wouldn't really want to turn away the customers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike on Twitch has said, sadly, it feels like doctors, etc., want to heal, not prevent,
Mm,
which I think is quite true, actually.
yeah. I feel like, with a mental illness, it's not really something that you can cure. It's something that you kind of have to learn to live with.
Yeah,
But you can still have an amazingly happy life. You just need the right support. But yeah, I think the prevention is what I'm saying is, like at school and stuff like that, from a young age, if they're taught about, like relationship with food, nutrition, all that sort of stuff, then hopefully, it will be good going forwards.
definitely. So we continue your story.
Mhm.
So you've had, you said five times that you were admitted. Um, the last point in which you were admitted, obviously, that's the being the last one, and that's where
Mhm.
you've obviously been able to change, like turn your life around. I'm just wondering, what would the thought process behind that to get to who you are today?
So my last admission wasn't that long ago. It was actually in 2019.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I think each time just got worse and worse, and that's because I lost faith in the support and the sort of medical professionals, if you will, because I'd been failed time and time again. It's kind of you go into hospital and you kind of put on the weight, but they're not really necessarily dealing with the mental side of things, which is the part that kind of needs the help, because that is what it essentially is. It's a mental illness, but it's not always taken into account. It's kind of like, feed you up, get you to a stable enough weight, and then let you go again. But yeah, they're not addressing the underlying issue. So I think this time, because I'd been through the system so many times as well, I kind of took it upon myself to really heal myself. I did a lot of reading, a lot of courses. Like I said, I read some amazing like influential books. I made sure that I was eliminating anything that I found that was toxic to me or anything that didn't serve me, and just absorbing things that I knew made me feel good, that made me feel like my best self. I looked sort of to the future as well and kind of thought, this isn't the life that I want to keep living. There is a life out there that, I've got kind of a message to share as well. I don't want other people to go through what I've been through, hating themselves or feeling like they need to be someone else when everyone is already whole as they are. And that's kind of what my aim is to bring out of everyone.
Good.
So
And this so this is obviously your coaching journey, isn't it now, where you are out there to help other people, to help them see that they are worthy enough as they are. They don't necessarily need to change anything about them. And you've been recognized for this, like specifically for your coaching, haven't you?
Yeah, so I was approached by Yahoo News and Finance, which was amazing. That sort of was really unexpected, and they wanted to feature me in their article for the top 10 empowerment coaches for 2021, which was amazing. So yeah, there is an article online about kind of my story and what I do and the type of coaching that I do, and that was really an honor. Because yeah, that is where my passion lies. Like I have a lot of passion for helping other people, and just getting them to live like the best life that is good for them.
What was that like? What was the feelings and everything when Yahoo got in touch and was like, "We want you to feature in top 10"?
You know, like there's so much spam going around at the minute, and all these stupid messages and things like click through, and it's just to get money off you and stuff. I just thought this is not real. I know I still don't sort of believe it. And then luckily, and like I would have actually deleted it, I would have got rid of it, but I actually knew another coach that had been featured previously a few years ago, and I asked her about it, and I said like, how did they approach you? What was the kind of thing that you went through? Because I don't, and if she wouldn't have told me like it is legit, like they are really getting in touch with you, I think I would have rejected it because I wouldn't have thought it was real. So yeah.
I know that feeling. So when I was nominated for the National Diversity Awards for Positive Role Model, it came through on an email, and I was teaching dance at the time, and I remember like I was going to get my phone to have a look at what song to put on, and I picked it up and I had an email and I read it and I was like, nah. And then I had to Google who they were to make sure that they're legit, and yeah, they're fully legit. So I completely get that, especially as you write as well.
Well,
What's that? Sorry.
it's that imposter syndrome as well.
Yes, I talk about this all the time, about imposter syndrome, about like telling you that you're not good enough for that, and you completely have that self doubt all the time. I talk about it so much on this show, but yeah, you're right, especially with like all the spam as well, that has been happening throughout 2020 and 2021.
So,
Yeah. Well, congratulations for that, by the way. What a great achievement it was to. I mean, I've read it myself. I've read the article, and I will post that article out as well for others to have a read of it, because it's brilliant, and it's a brilliant achievement, and it's something that obviously you can shout about now as well.
yeah, it's just like very short and sweet, gets to the point, and just describes kind of what I've been through in a nutshell and what I'm kind of doing now and why.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll post that article so others can have a read of it as well, because it is an achievement, and we should be shouting about it too.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you would be able to give any advice. Obviously, this is a journey that you are have been and are currently on through obviously a mental health disorder with anorexia, and I'm just wondering if you'd be able to give some advice for anybody who may know someone who is potentially going through it themselves, how they can be a better support person in their life. How can we support anybody that we may know that might be going through anorexia?
I think have a lot of patience with them, because I think the more you prod or try and get someone to talk about something or almost mock, because I feel like eating disorder is very mocked by people. Like I have often had comments shouted at me like, eat a hamburger or, something like that. And it's just things like that don't obviously help. But yeah, I think it's just speaking to someone that you feel most comfortable with. That could be a family member, a friend, it could be your friend's mum or someone like that. But yeah, I think the first thing is that talking about it don't feel ashamed about that. It's not something that you've chosen. You're struggling with something and it can be helped. And the earlier that you do talk about it, the more chances you've got of recovering fully. So yeah, I think talking is the best thing. But in terms of other people spotting it, I think yeah, be patient with that person and don't push or prod them too hard because it could backfire. And just be really sort of gentle with them. And just let them know that whatever it is that they're going through, you know, they are there to help. Things will be okay. Things can get better and will be better. And whatever it is they're going through, not to feel ashamed about.
Definitely. That's beautiful. Thank you. With regards to Laura Sylvester, what can we expect in the future? Where is your path leading you to?
I don't know. I want to help as many people as possible. I'd love to sort of be like what I'm doing at the minute. So I've got a one-to-one coaching program, and soon I'm going to launch a 3-day free coaching experience with me on Facebook. And in the future, what I would love to do is be able to hold retreats. So like abroad or somewhere like Bali or something like that, and actually hold retreats for women as kind of like part of a holistic healing journey for them. Because yeah, it is so powerful. Like, you know, you'd come in with all of these limiting beliefs and that kind of thing. And what my aim is to help you leave feeling so powerful and confident within yourself that you could take on the world.
That sounds amazing. And as soon as you've got that set up, please let us know. And what we'll do is we'll share that out to people because that would definitely be a great experience. And I'm sure there's plenty of women out there, especially in the teacup community, who would absolutely love that type of experience as well. Well, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like the opportunity to discuss now?
I think because it's kind of been about eating disorders and stuff, kind of just be aware about comments that you make, even to people that don't have an eating disorder, because that can often be the start of it. So, you know, like people that have been in lockdown, they might have gained weight over lockdown for whatever reason, which is nothing to be ashamed of. But, you know, like people go into workplaces and like, oh, what are you eating for lunch? Or, oh, you've piled on the pounds over lockdown. Things like that can start them off, you know? And so whatever someone's eating or how they look is irrelevant to you or why it needs to be brought up. You know, you're speaking to the person that they are, not their external look or anything like that. So yeah, I think that is definitely a really good message, because that is sometimes the start of an eating disorder, and they can happen at any age.
Definitely. 100%. It's none of your business.
Yeah.
Like, be all and end all, it's none of your business. If somebody is piled on the way, you don't need to point that out. You don't need to say anything about that. You know, if somebody who's coming in on their lunch break or whatever to work and they've gone to Subway and they've got a foot-long sub with absolutely everything on it, don't matter. Don't matter to you. It doesn't affect your life.
No,
Just leave them to it. Just be, you know, if they're a work colleague, if they're a friend or a family member, that doesn't give you the right.
no.
Just because you know them doesn't give you the right to make a comment.
Yeah, stay in your own lane.
Yeah, worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us roundabout to the end of the show. Have you had fun?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think it's been a really good chance to talk about something that needs to be talked about more.
Definitely. And you were quite right as well. I mean, the reason that I wanted to do this episode, we obviously have more recently had the news about Nikki Graham, RIP Nikki Graham, absolutely amazing individual. And when that happened, I was like, I have to shuffle things around. We need to get you on earlier because of that reason. And it's sad to think this, But let's hope that from what's happened with Nikki Graham, is getting people talking about it, and let's hope that some positivity can come from that. And as I say, it's horrible to think like that. 'Cause, you know, it should never have happened in the first place. But let's hope that something is done now,
Yeah,
and we push that further as well. A few
absolutely.
comments coming in. We've got Mike on Twitch. You've come across fantastic. It's been lovely meeting you.
And
Uh,
you.
Plenty of applauses as well. Hannah on Facebook has done lots of applauses. Linda has commented saying, look after number one.
Yeah,
And Leela has put, everyone should just be kind to each other as well.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm just wondering if you've got some final thoughts for us.
I think ultimately just be yourself. Simple as that. It does not matter what anyone else thinks, you know. If someone has a comment or anything like that, you might never see this person again. If something makes you happy, do it.
I love that. Absolutely love it. And that then takes us to the end of your section. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
At the
you.
end of every show, I give my guests the opportunity to give a quote, and it can be something that they stand by, live by. It could be something that they've just heard that they just really like, or it could be something that they've made up. They just think, you know what, that's my quote forever. And I'm just wondering if you've got a quote for us today.
Yes, I've got one by Carl Jung. He was a Swiss psychiatrist or psychologist, and it is the privilege of a lifetime is to become yourself or become who you truly are. And when I came across that, it was just everything that I'm about. It's kind of like there's only one version of you in the world. Why would you want to be anyone else when you can just be you and shine as you are? Yeah, and you don't need to be anyone else. That is the
I
privilege.
I absolutely love that quote. I genuinely love that quote, and the meaning that you've just explained that as well. It's beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You.
You are free to say your goodbyes to everyone.
Well, thank you for everyone that's watched, or whoever is going to watch on replay or anything like that. I hope that it's kind of shed a light on something that is important, and hopefully there is more done in future about it.
100%. Thank you. Well, I will see you soon.
Yeah. See you soon. Thank you,
Bye bye.
everyone. Bye. Bye.
Wow, 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 wow. I'm sure you'll agree, obviously, an amazing guest to have on the show. Linda Proctor, straight in. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you, Laura, so much for sharing your story. Thank you for being so honest, so open, and so vulnerable as well. What a great show. Leela, well done. Keep up the good work. Every success for the future. Keep those comments rolling through. Laura can still see all of the messages coming through as well. So if you've got any comments or questions or whatever, keep them rolling through. And we'll be sure that obviously she picks them up. But what a great guest. What a great guest to have on the Spill It show this evening. Well, next week. So next week's episode, what a banger to kick off season 2 in June of Spill It. So what a banger to kick off June. We have got All Over Again. So All Over Again were last on the show when they did a takeover with Jonathan Simpson. They are back again after their EP debut release. And they'll be back talking about everything that's come from there, and also what is coming up next for All Over Again, which I am really, really, really looking forward to. But let's talk about what does June look like in general. So here we go. So next week we have got All Over Again, which we've just talked about them. We are then followed by Bobby Hedglin Taylor talking about things that his mama says. So Bobby's mum recently passed away, and he's been using his creativity to channel into a book. He's written several books now, about certain quotes that his mum used to say and things like that. It's going to be an amazing episode to have, an amazing guest to have as well. Then we are joined by Jackie Roby, who will be coming on and talking about how you can better yourself through travel, talking about mental health through travel, which I'm really, really looking forward to. And then after that, on June the 21st, did you know it will be Spillet's first birthday? And what a guest I have got for June the 21st. Here we go. It is Joey Kramer, the star of the 1980s film Flight of the Navigator. What an amazing guest. I cannot wait to speak to Joey Kramer. It's going to be absolutely epic. That'll be on Wednesday, the 21st of June, to celebrate Spillet's first birthday, talking about life after the Navigator. Oh, what a great episode it's going to be. I can't wait. And then lastly, to close off June, we will be speaking to Pia Prana, who is a coach, and she'll be talking about family and the roles that we play in the family life, in the family portrait, if you will. Talking about how family can really affect your mental health, whether that be for good or for bad. The bonds that we create through our family, but then also the roles that we slip into, the psychological roles that we slip into in the family portrait. These are all going to be great guests, and I cannot wait to sit down with every single one of them. My name is Marcus Wright. You can find me on all my social medias, and they are on my website at www.spillit.uk, where you can also find out all of the upcoming guests, information of all the upcoming guests, but then also connect with all of the guests as well. You can also, on the website, support me. You can buy merch like these lovely, lovely hoodies. There's also Spillit hats, beanie hats as well. And there's also Spillit t-shirts available. There is going to be soon some more Spillit merch landing as well, which I cannot wait for. But you can buy the merch directly from the Spillit website. There is also an option to join the Spillit Patreon, where you can become an official teacup by sponsoring this show by donating £2 per month, and you'll be getting hold of some Spillit goodies if you do so. Another way that you can support me is just by inviting people into the Spillit fold. So if you're watching this via Facebook, then you can invite people to the Spillit page, and that's just at www.facebook.com/spillingit. You can share the YouTube page. You can also share the Twitch channel, and you can invite people to it as well. The best way, though, that you can support me is by leaving a review. If you're watching this via Facebook Live, you can jump onto the Facebook page and just leave me a 5-star review. No less. I don't accept any less than 5 stars. Well, you can leave a 5-star review for me. And also, if you're listening to this via Apple Podcasts, you can also leave me a 5-star review on there. I mean, if you didn't enjoy the show, or you didn't enjoy me or what I'm doing, don't leave me a review. That's fine. You don't have to leave me a review. But if you do leave me a review, make sure it's a 5-star review. And of course, the number one way that you can support me is by voting. Make sure that you head over to the Spillit website at www.spillit.uk and you leave me a vote. Please, just leave me a vote. Let me get shortlisted. Please, 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 please. Right, and that then takes us to the end of the show. I hope you've had fun. Thank you so much for joining me and joining Laura for all of your questions and comments and everything. Keep being fabulous, you lovely teacups out there. Thank you so much for watching, and until we spill it again, it's bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Spill It. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Spill It goes live every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And a special thank you to these amazing teacups.